Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. For those of you who might not know me, my name's Jake. I'm a third year mechanical engineering student from Australia, currently studying all the way over in Germany. Apologies this week as I'm still recovering from a bit of a cold, so if I sound a bit throaty in the final mix, that's why. Nonetheless, I promise a video every week, and a video every week you will get. So let's get into this one. As some of you might know, in 2022, I was the team principal of QUT Motorsport. It's a student-run club with over 100 members where we build electric and autonomous racing cars. The team is probably one of the biggest and most active clubs at the university, with our members giving between 10 and 40 hours of their time every single week to build these incredible cutting-edge racing machines. So obviously, to end up in charge of one of these teams at the start of just my second year of studies was a pretty big deal, and a massive responsibility. And it wasn't an easy start either. There was a bunch of challenges that we had to overcome right from the off. And so today I'm going to share one of the fundamental principles and techniques that I used from day one to not only lead the team effectively, but to also completely transform the leadership and team culture of the organization. So if you feel like you're not ready to lead, or if you don't know where to start, today I'm going to give you everything that you need to start getting results as a leader. And if you take what I'm saying to heart and apply it to everything that you do, I guarantee that you will become an inspiring and successful leader among your peers. That's how powerful this single principle is. So are you ready for it? Here it is. Take responsibility. That's it. And you might say, well, that's obvious and not really helpful, Jake. But if it were so obvious and easy, then everyone would be doing it, and the world would be a very different place. Let me illustrate my point. Imagine some situation where someone has come to you with a problem or frustration in their life. What are they like? You've seen this a million times before, when people are like, oh my gosh, Kathy at work just can't keep it together. Or, my boss is such a bully, there's nothing I can do about it. Ugh, it's so unfair. Or, so-and-so is always trying to sabotage me in meetings. They're just so mean. Here's the commonality between all of these people in all of these scenarios. The person coming to you is always outwardly directed. In these situations, it's always something or someone else's fault. Because we put the problem outside of us, we don't have to take responsibility for it. And if we're not responsible for it, then we don't have to do anything about it. We're free to complain and whinge and feel good about ourselves. But what good is that actually doing? Is the problem still out there? Is it going to be exactly the same tomorrow? Probably. The difference between leaders and everyone else in situations like these is that they take the situation at face value, and instead of casting their frustrations and negative emotions out into the world, they ask, how can I take responsibility for improving some aspect of the situation? What can I do here to make sure that this doesn't happen in the same way again? And so Kathy might be an emotional train wreck. Your boss might be a bully. Your situation and circumstances might be immensely unjust and unfair. But you always have the option of taking responsibility for doing something about that. And when you take responsibility for doing something about the situation, you become a leader every time. Let's think about that for a second. The great leaders that you know, the people that inspire you with their leadership skills, they don't sit there and complain about the world. They see problems and they go and do something about them. Gandhi, Rosa Parks, Martin Luther King Jr., they all saw great injustices between people and went and did something about it. Mother Teresa saw the poorest of the poor suffering without access to basic support and care. Greta Thunberg sailed across the ocean to stand up for what she saw as a world being trashed by big corporations. Whoever they are, and whatever they believe in, leaders all share that same common trait. And it all starts with taking responsibility. So, whenever life throws difficulties, hardships, or injustices at you, remember that this is life giving you an opportunity to be a leader, to take responsibility for doing something that moves you and your team towards a solution, towards a better place than the one that you find yourself in right now. If you can do that, then the rest of leadership will follow. It really is that simple. So let's bring it back to my story. What made me, a relative newcomer to a team with basically no technical expertise in the field of building prototype electric racing cars, eligible for the top position in the organization? Well, as you can probably guess by now, it started by finding a problem and taking responsibility for doing something about it. You see, I have a lot of respect for my friends and colleagues at QUT Motorsport. I count many of them among the most intelligent, hardworking, and inspiring young adults I've ever met. But towards the end of my first year with the team, I noticed that we had a serious problem. People didn't want to be a part of the team anymore. People were leaving, and others were clearly getting towards the end of their tether. We were doing brilliant work, but it was clear that the environment within the team was not one that made people want to show up and volunteer their hard work each and every day. Out of respect for the team, I don't want to get into the details here and now, but the point of the matter is that the team wasn't an inclusive, safe, or fun place to be. So, I started talking to people. I went and had conversations with my friends and colleagues about the problems that were driving them away from the team. I sat down with different people in leadership and started getting their perspectives on the problem. I told them that I wanted to do something about this issue, and that I was committed to doing what it took to help the more senior members rectify the issues that I'd been identifying in my conversations. Then one day, in the weeks leading up to Christmas, I get invited to a mysterious Zoom call with a couple of senior members of the team, and that's where they asked me if I would consider running for team principal. If I was going to do something about the culture of the team, being the team principal was probably the best position to do it from. Taking on such a big role so early in my time with the team wasn't my goal, nor was it the aim of what I was doing. But when the offer came, everything sort of clicked into place. It made sense. And so I started working with whoever I could to start setting the wheels in motion for the start of the following year, where we could start putting our plans into practice. So right now, I'm going to run you through an exercise that I ran through with my team during the very first meeting of the new year. It's a simple exercise you can do by yourself whenever you like, and it's a super effective group exercise for getting the people in whatever team you happen to be a part of to start taking responsibility for their actions, and to start being leaders amongst their peers. What I asked the people in the room to do on that day was to go around the circle and each pick one example of the issues they had seen with the team's culture. This part was not a problem. Everyone in that room had something to say. And so, after everyone had gone around the room and given one grievance each, we went around the circle again, but this time with a different question. Name one example where you contributed to that issue with your own actions. And again, everyone in that room had something to say. And so the point of that exercise was not to throw my leadership team under the bus and expose them as hypocrites, but to show them that the solution to the problems that all of us were facing started with taking responsibility for our own actions. Once we all realized that we all had a part to play in the problem, and that there was something that we could all do to improve the situation, we were able to come together as a leadership team and begin to make change towards the future that we all agreed that we wanted. And at the end of that year, we went to competition and we received the Motorsport Australia Inspiring Spirit Award. In 12 months, we went from a team of people who were willing to blame each other for our problems and quit the team to a team that came together so fiercely that we were recognized for our indomitable team spirit in the face of what was a very technically challenging competition. And so if you take one thing away from this video, it's that you can do this exercise whenever and wherever you want. Whatever problem you or your team face, ask yourself, what can I do about this? What solutions can I begin to work on? Who can I talk to about helping solve this problem? And if you can do that, no matter what anybody else says, you're a leader in that moment. And if you keep that up and apply this principle of responsibility consistently in your life, then the leadership positions and results will follow. I promise you that. And so if you made it to the end of this video, first of all, consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. I share videos like this every week for you to learn, reflect, and grow from. Second, I want to know more about you. What do you want to know about the art of leadership? What are you struggling with on your own leadership journey or with the leaders that you see around you? Your comments let me know what you want to hear more about. So if you want advice on a particular topic, let me know. Until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.